Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. Good evening to everyone, north, south, east, west, round and about. This is the July 19th, 2022 edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. Glad you can join us. I am your host and van driver and head cook, Mr. Mike Walker. Glad to have you out here with us. And we got a probably interesting show this evening, though. And again, call your friends, your family, your kin folks, ma, pa, grandma, everybody, your pets and everybody. So thank you for joining us. And let's do some salutations before we get started here. Tiffany Murray said, what's up? Glad to have you here, Sister Tiffany. Mark is good. Oh, okay. He's out in the audience this evening. Glad to have you here. Ebony, he's snickering somewhere. Okay, glad to have you here, Ebony. Come to the after part. I got some information to share with you tonight. Please make sure you show up, okay? Nissa Brown, glad to have you here. Hopefully you'll be there tonight as well. Great to have you. Michael Jones McKeever, glad to have you here. All the way from the DMC. Good to have you here. Valerie Zachary Cavett from Huntsville. Great to have you here. Kimberly Best of Kimberly Reviews. Glad to have you here. Andrea Silva. Glad to have you here. Great. Whoever else. Michael Jones. Teresa Jones. Always good to have you here. Glad to be of your acquaintance. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, then I guess it's time for us to start. But before we get started, we interview our panelists for the night. And here we go. Yeah, starting on my left, we got Josette from California. And from best one, we got Marcus Wilbanks. And from Joyzy, we got Shell. How y'all folks doing this evening?
Good. Doing good.
Good. Well, let's get started, Shell. We're not going to waste too much time, okay? The first topic, though, is how are men raising their daughters? And maybe I should have changed the topic to how are parents raising their children? I've seen some articles that fathers are raising their daughters with masculine traits. That's what certain articles say or what have you. And some people pointed out that mothers are spoiling their sons. So, you got Josette shaking her head. So, and how did I come up with this topic for tonight? It was a quote. It was a video. I think it was from Father's Day from tdjakes, and it just somehow resurfaced up. Y'all take a listen.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk back to me this morning.
And I thought that was pretty interesting, though. And I guess I'll start this off, though. I think, well, is it wrong for a woman to have her own? I mean, that's a rhetorical question. I know the answer though, but is it wrong for a woman? No, better yet, the question should be, that's because a woman works hard to have her own, to pay for her own house, to have her own car. That's a feminine trait in her. And again, I know that's a rhetorical question. Anyone want to tackle that?
I don't think that having your own has to be or make you masculine. Does it happen? Yes, I see it. And there are a lot of videos that I see, both men and women, especially now women, making videos talking to women about getting into their feminine energy and not being so hard and not being so tough and being open to allow a man to be a man. So there's a lot of discussion on the internet about a woman being in her, and I'm doing air quotes, right?
Yeah.
Feminine energy. I don't think that a woman having her own automatically makes her masculine acting, or has to automatically make her be like or seem like she doesn't need a man. I think that there are definitely women out there that scream that from the rafters. I don't need nobody. And I think that people are painting with a broad brush. You can have your own and be independent, pay your bills, climb the corporate ladder, and still understand the role that a man plays in your life, right? And still be open and willing to submit within the biblical confines of a marriage. I don't think that you either have to do one or the other. I don't think it's impossible to have both.
And Tiffany Murphy says, oops, there it goes, jumped up. But even when we come with all the success and are humble, we're told as Black women that we do too much. We eliminate the need for a man. There are things I will get from my spouse, that stuff and success can't give me. And you know what? And Tiffany, I'm glad you said Black women, though. Do other women, no, non-Black women, face this type of scrutiny from their men? And, you know, that makes you think, though. You know, is it out of intimidation? Is it out of jealousy? Something to kind of gnaw on for a little bit. And, of course, Charlita says, amen, Shell. That's
Wait,
good.
can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
What was the question again?
Ma'am?
What was the question at hand again?
I was going to say, are we raising...
What does that have to do with the children?
Well, did you hear the video? What it said, raising with a... let me read this right here. Nothing wrong with having your own. I think his point was more about some women thinking those things should be used to demean men. And it was suggested by other commentators that people are raising, what's the best way? Like I said at the earlier this part of this section, that people feel that women are being raised with masculine traits, and while men, today's men, the generation, are being raised with feminine traits. So that's not me. Those are not my words. Those are not my words. Okay, Marcus, help me out here. What do you think? What do you think about the topic? At least what Bishop Jakes had to say.
Wow, that's a tough thing to follow up anyway with Shell's point. I think the way you asked the question about men raising their own daughters, or you would have rephrased it to people raising their own children, on how they raise their own children, it bodes well both sides of the aisle by maintaining a daily focus on things, as the British personality Bear Grylls once put it anyway. the way I was raised as a child, you gotta know how to treat your mother with the same respect that you want to be treated. That's one part of the healthy portion of life, anyway. In order for you to establish a parenting-child relationship, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you don't have that environment where two parents get along, it brings a negative effect to the child themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it pretty much in concert to what happened with me as a child myself.
Mm-hmm.
When my dad was living at the time, I mean, it was years ago. It was about over 20 years ago when me,
Mm-hmm.
my mother, and my dad were living together under one roof before I had moved over here to another part of this neighborhood where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
It was negative. It was a negative environment all around. I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
dad was probably not pretty much a respectable man at times. I mean, he doesn't have respect for himself, and he doesn't have respect for the mothers themselves. I mean, if this is the type of environment in which you asking me, this is the way you treat your mother, that's negative. That's a negative effect. And I don't want to do that. This is the
But
reason.
and I didn't mean to cut you off. How do you think he raised your sisters?
Sister,
Oh.
or sisters. Well, pretty much. Well, I might as well say I do have sisters. I have an older sister, by the way, because her name's on the obituary right now.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a younger sister. So
Mm-hmm.
he raised he's been part of everybody's life. He's been a
Mm-hmm.
part of everybody's life, despite the negative response that the moms get about him.
Mm-hmm.
But still, overall, I had no problem whatsoever getting along with my siblings. If I had no problem getting along with my siblings, he has no problem becoming an intricate part in the children's lives. Anyway, as we speak. I mean, listen, my younger sister is a mother of 3 herself. And of course, my older one is a mom of, let me see if I want to get the math correctly. I think she has 3 girls of her own, and she's a grandmother herself of one grandson. So overall, basically, nothing old-fashioned, nothing too negative, but still, we get along.
But do you feel like the way you were raised gave you feminine traits? And do you feel like the way your sisters were raised gave them masculine traits?
Mm-hmm.
The way I was raised, I have the best of both worlds. I have the best of both worlds. I mean, I don't have to think like a woman. I can also think like a man myself. See, I just don't become a man to have feminine traits, to say the least. My dad taught me to respect the woman if they need to be treated well themselves anyway, because my dad was a corrections officer at the time before his retirement. And if I don't have one part of the world that I think I need to have or I want to have, who knows what my life would have been.
Okay. Let me read what Tiffany Murphy. Thank you so much. Let me read what Tiffany Murphy has to say. Oh, this is a big one. This is a book right here. I think women definitely face this stereotype more than other nationalities of women. I say that because in a lot of other cultures, gender roles are societal and understood, and cultures are usually rooted in understood tradition. In America, the Black woman has never been culturally respected or accepted on the broad scale, while our counterparts are seen very differently. I couldn't agree more. Joe said, as a mother of a son, do you agree with how these people describe the role changes? you know, that today's parents are raising their sons to be feminine. Well, feminine traits. I say it like Marcus, say feminine traits, and raising their daughter, and fathers are raising their daughters with masculine traits.
Let me ask a question real quick.
Sure.
Marcus, do you have kids? You have children?
No, I don't.
Shell, do you have children?
I do not.
Mike, do you have children?
I go check.
So I'm probably not the best person to be answering this question on this panel or whatever. I'm sorry for being emotional. I've been emotional all
you good. You good, Shell. I mean, you good. Just said, I mean.
So I'm a single mother with 3 kids, right? And I raised my kids by myself all of their life. My daughter is 15, my son is 18, and I have an older daughter that's 27. And when my 15-year-old was born, that was when I started raising my kids by myself. So for me to answer this question is going to be much different because I'm going to see it much different than people that don't have kids at all. And I'm going to tell you, it's hard. It's hard to raise kids by yourself and to get them to thrive in life. Doesn't matter whether they're feminine or male, or do you have feminine energy or male energy? Just let my son and daughter not be depressed. Just let my son and daughter not get caught up in drugs. Just let my son or daughter be the best human God has intended for them to be and thrive in life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, I have 2 other sisters. I don't have any brothers. My dad passed away when my son was 5 months old. And I had to try and raise this man who he's a young man now, And so for me as a woman, I had to put him in positions to do things that I couldn't do. So if I was dating somebody, I would make them get out there and go out there and change the oil with them. I had to put my son in male situations in order to raise him to be a man. I couldn't teach him how to stand up and pee. I couldn't. All I know how to do is sit down and pee. So now he's 18 years old and he's making all these different decisions for himself and he's doing, I'm very, very proud of my son. But, so throughout life, it's like, okay, he was raised around all girls. So there's me, there's, and my 2 other daughters, and so he had to do things he thought, well, girls do this, so I better not do what they do because I'm a man, I'm a boy. And I'm speaking emotionally, so, and then my daughter, for her to be 15 and I had to show her different girly things that, that I don't know. I just had to show her girly stuff, So, when we was getting all these stimulation checks, I had to do things like buy my daughter a sewing machine, buy my son a tool set, so that they can always know how to utilize things in their life and make some kind of money on some kind of way. You get what I'm saying? But for me, it's hurtful because I have to play the role of a man and a woman in this household. I have to make all of the decisions alone. I'm not accountable to anybody except for God, and it's hard. It's hard. So we don't think about that as a parent. We just thrive. We just try to survive. We just try to, I couldn't give them a father that I feel like they deserve. So the only father I can introduce them to is God in the name of Jesus. That's the only father I can introduce them to. And then on their way, on their journey, like, my son is like, well, I don't want to go to church anymore. Okay, I'm not going to force you to do that anymore. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm like emotional over something. I'm probably not the best person to even be on here right now, whatever. I told you that beforehand, but as a woman, I think that we get tired of having to play that masculine role. As a woman, I think that we get tired of having to make those male decisions. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, I think for me, I don't want to go buy a house alone. I won't do it. Because for me, I'm old school, and that's something that my husband should be leading. You know, and as a woman, I get tired of having to stand up in certain situations, and these men come in, they won't even hold the door open for you no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's exhausting. It's very, very exhausting. And after a while, for me, I have to find my feminine side. I have to put on something sexy by myself in my bedroom. I have to try and make myself feel like a woman, because I get lost in all of the stuff that I have to do as a human, as a human parent, as a, just get out there and work. Like, I work in a very feminine environment. I'm in the medical field. That's like a feminine field, right? But it's just tiring. It's very, very tiring playing a part of a woman and having to be alone. It really is.
And can I say one thing to you, Josette? And believe me, with all due respect, don't say you probably aren't the best person. Just say you are definitely the best person to even spill your heart out like that. Plain and simple. See, when you say you probably aren't the best person, that means you're like, it's mathematically impossible for me to answer that question, when it is very possible for you to expand your energy into everything that you are doing, even up to this point in time right now.
I mean, for you guys to answer, you're speaking based on how you were raised. For me to answer, this is 2022, and I have to speak about how I raised my kids. I have to talk to them about how to choose a mate. I have to talk to them about how to choose a wife, how to choose a husband, because I don't want them to be what I am now. I don't want them to have a single life. I don't.
Absolutely.
I tell them all the time, don't bring home no babies, don't have no kids, go get you a puppy, a bird, or something. But it's just so hard. So for me, I'm speaking from a perspective of having raised these kids by myself for the last 15 years. Like, there was a long period in my life that I didn't date nobody, because I didn't want nobody around my kids, because I had to protect them. Kids is getting molested, most boys and girls. So I couldn't date nobody. I didn't know who I was bringing around. And I wasn't going to this day. I don't bring people around my kids unless I'm sure about who they are. Like, I had to be careful putting my son in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, because they molesting boys. I had to be careful about what men I might have or what boy, because they molesting these girls out here. And I had to think about that. I couldn't stop and think about, well, I might be girly enough. It might be men. And I couldn't think about that. On top of the fact that I'm paying the rent, I'm paying the food, and I'm doing everything I got to do for these kids, and I'm keeping them healthy, and they don't have no mental issues. My kids don't go towards, my oldest one is crazy as hell, but my two younger ones, they're not into drugs or nothing. So I trust their decisions that they make, because I know that I raised them in a good environment, the best as I possibly could. I raised them with God being in his household, and I did it all clean and sober, and I was in recovery all of their life. So when you're raising kids by yourself, you don't think about this feminine energy and this male energy and all this other crap. It's just too much. So whatever my kids grow up, and however it is that they end up being, I know that they learn to respect themselves and carry themselves decently. And as a son, boy, you better hold these doors open for these girls. As a daughter, you better learn how to cook and sew your clothes and do. You get what I'm saying? Don't depend on nobody. And yes, I did say that. Don't depend on nobody. Don't sit up and be in no relationship because you need that man to help you. No. Don't suffer because you need another counterpart. I don't know, man. That's enough for me.
You're all right, Joe.
You're all right, man. You're all right with all of us here, Joe said.
And what Joe said, you know, I proposed to you years ago.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, friend. I don't know what you're talking about way out there in the state you in, friend.
Okay, but we'll talk. We'll talk. But thank you so much, Joe. Said you didn't have to do it, but you don't know how many people you may have blessed. You know, and all of us are dealing with things, you know. And I said this, what months ago, that all of us are dealing with something, but I know I'm not, at least not yet, brave enough to help someone else out like you just did. So, and again, everybody's gonna pray for you. I know I am. It's gonna be fine. We'll take care of it. It's gonna be fine. And
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't live my life in fear and in anger anymore. I generally am able to thrive in life because God has blessed me with various blessings and miracles, you know. I think the hurtful thing is being patient and wondering whether or not God has anybody for me or for you. Because what if what if it was just meant for me to be alone? You know? And not knowing that it is it's hurtful. It's hurtful for anybody, for all of us. And then when you keep trying and the attempts fail, and then you feel broken heart and you look at yourself and say, well, what did I do wrong in this? Do I let my kids see me cry because I want them to be vulnerable, but I don't want my son to be viewed as being weak? I don't want my daughter to be viewed as being too emotional, you know? So yeah, it's difficult. But I'm good. I mean, I'm good, as you know.
You good. We'll talk. We will talk. Okay. Thank you so much, Joe said. Thank you very, very, very. Let me see. Very, 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 very. Oh, let me read this right quick. Karen Geither Pratt says, Joe said, it's hard because you are doing great. Much love and respect for being strong and putting in the work to raise responsible kids and have a good family. So it's good. It's good. So thank y'all so much for that right there. We're going to move on to the, oh goodness, this next topic. But before we move on, though, dang, I can't even find it, Marcus. This is your fault. This is your fault. I can't find it. Oh, there you go. You in charge of this, Marcus. Please like.
First of all, how's my
subscribe. Please subscribe.
Okay. Oh, please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody.
Okay. Here we go with this one right here. Kim Burrell strikes again.
What?
Kim, she constantly suffers from foot and mouth disease. Okay. Always saying something that's out of pocket. Well, I think it was this weekend. She may have been at, Brian Carnes' church. And she was supposed to sing, but before she performed, she went into this tirade or dissertation. And it didn't sit too well with a lot of folks. So y'all take a listen, okay? The volume might not be as loud as you need it to be, but let's take a listen.
Gotta choose up. Find you some value. You know, sometimes before we get friends, we have to do an interview. How long have you been broke? How many times have you changed your name on your light bill? How many of your bills in your little cousin's name? Do you live in a trailer home or a house? You know, you understand. And it's not about status or material things. It's just about choices. You know, life is different now. And, you know, we are at church. Thank God we're here. Those of us who are walking by faith without a mask and no vaccine. And so we honor the Lord. God is good. I respect all of the men of God here and respect you. Can y'all clap so I don't feel strange right about now? Hopefully we'll get a chance to meet each other when y'all invite me to come to your church. I'm not as expensive as I seem. And so, I don't know, maybe you got a little left over from your PPP loan. Prayer, praise, and power. You understand? Amen. Isn't the Lord great? Amen. Amen. And so, you know, I like coming here because the ground is already tilled with great personality like Dr. Karn. Because one thing I love about him, he's deep in the word, but he knows how to have great humanity. And most don't understand his personality because he is truth personified. And he tells the type of truth that makes most uncomfortable. Because who likes to be told you're just ugly? No one likes to be told that. You know, especially when they have realized it. All right. Most don't get offended until they know the bad thing about themselves. And then somebody else recognizes and says, oh, I saw the ugly too. I just wanted to let you know. So anyway, y'all get that later. God is great. All of you are beautiful. I haven't chosen anyone to be ugly yet. God is good. God is great. You all look great. Most of you have on hats covering most of that anyway. Here's to you. I have a great personality. Okay, I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing. Daily I shall.
I mean,
So go ahead, Joe.
I'm sorry, but what's the big deal? Her glasses alone was a comedy to me. She should have took them silly glasses off. I'm sorry, some of y'all might have them same glasses, but her glasses alone was a comedy show. Like, what is that on your face, darling? But
Darling.
I mean, she said what she said. So what? I don't get it. What's the big deal?
It was insulted. To some, it was kind of almost pot calling the kettle black in some instances. You know, I won't go into it. Maybe.
I think it depends on where you sitting at in the place you coming from. If you are, I mean, if she came on there in the sense of let me lighten the load of word, I don't know. I come too real with people. So with the first pointer that she mentioned about choose up when it comes to your friends, I definitely. Like, I'm not going to be asking you no question like how many light bills. That ain't none of my business. But I definitely pray for discernment as far as who God has for me when it comes to friendships are concerned. I don't know what she say about some people's ugliness. I mean, I will tell a person, you know, your spirit is ugly.
And that's, but Joe, that's a difference between telling someone that their spirit is ugly or their attitude is ugly or their personality is ugly. That's all well and good though, but to sit there and at least she claims she was joking, to say, to refer to people or suggest that people are less than pretty or less than handsome. That's a big difference right there.
I mean, so basically, I think I'm not going to judge her for what she said or didn't say. That's God's job.
Mm-hmm.
If she's a fool, she's a fool. That's on her. She got to sleep with herself at night. So I don't know. I just don't watch stuff like this. It's none of my business what the next person is thinking of doing or whatever. Kim Burrell, I don't know what kind of bed she's sleeping at night, or she might get beat down by her husband. Someone just go home. I don't know. It's none of my business. But whatever she said what she said. I can't take that personal. If it ain't for me, it ain't for me.
Interesting. Kitty says no one asked her opinion, and worse to me is that she says shady things, then throw amens and praise God in between when God It's not anything in anything she is saying. And I got to read this from Tiffany. And because people applauded this nonsense across the place that is supposed to be sacred in a place of refuge, church/pulpit, the very reason that people in the church are hurting right now and not wanting to open up about their hurt.
But did you hear how many people was applauding though?
That doesn't.
She spoke on a real level and people clapped for her.
I disagree. I respectfully disagree with that.
Yeah, she spoke on a real level based on, you know, what she felt or what she thought, trying to be funny.
And it went over like a lead balloon, I suppose. So
it felt like watching it for me, it just felt like she had diarrhea of the tongue. Like it just kept getting worse and worse the more she talked. And it was almost like, shut up, just stop. Stop while you're ahead. Just stop. Stop. And just because people applauded, so the same amount of rudeness met each other and agreed on that accord. Is that what we're doing? Because Tiffany's right. There's a time and a place for everything, and the pulpit ain't it. The pulpit is not. It's not. It's not. And is she entitled to her opinion? Absolutely. Is there a time and a place, an occasion, an audience to voice that to? Yes. It's just the pulpit is not it. It's not.
So she was supposed to just sing and that's it? She wasn't supposed to say nothing else?
That's what she was there to do. She wasn't there to tell people that they were ugly and they were using hats to hide their ugly, and they were only upset because other people realized they were ugly, that they realized they were ugly. That was just...
I'm just trying to clarify a couple things. So she's done this before in the past.
So, oh, yeah. That's why I said kimburrell strikes again. She has a history of making comments that are hurtful, inflammatory, the wrong place, wrong time. She really, truly does. That's why when it said strike again, I was like, oh, boy.
What she did.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not going to fault her for being her. Who invited her here there to do that knowing she was like that?
That part. I'm with Joe said on that. I'm sorry. I agree. Because she does have a history.
For me, it was intentional because she said what she said. And if this ain't the first time with her being like this, whoever asked her to come there knew what she was going to do.
She's got a point. She's got a point. That's valid. You know what you're going to get with her.
Why is that supposed to bother me? Why are we mad at her? The one who put her up there is the one that has the issue. Was that the pastor?
Yeah, like I said, right. Well, Brian Karn, he's no bargain either. So I hate to say it like that, but I don't know. But even then, without Brian Karn saying anything, at the end of the day, she's responsible for her own actions. You know, whether or not Pastor Karn started it off or not, though. Because we just said she has a history of saying, not thinking and just saying. And let me see right here. Kitty says, have you seen her response video? Yes, I have. At least I just looked at bits of it.
What did she have to say? Because I hadn't even seen this video till you just played it. Like I don't give her time and energy. So
exactly.
You know, what did she have to say?
I will be honest with you. I may have saw a few seconds of it. I may have saw just a few seconds of it. But from the cliff notes I've seen, she seemed a bit unrepentant of her actions.
Her usual double down. She doubled down. Yeah, because even the controversy, I don't know if you remember several years ago where she got uninvited from the Ellen show. And at first she doubled down and Ellen just had Burrell on because she was pretty much banned. She was banned for stuff she said. And initially she doubled down, and then eventually when they was about to cancel her, then she wanted to be like, oh, I'm sorry. So I'm not surprised that you're saying this initial response, she kind of doubled down on her comments.
Tiffany says, out of her mouth, slick, and it's unprovoked. I was in the room with the Leandra Johnson Fantasia conversation, and that was the oddest a few minutes. Keena Lena says she speaks to an audience that has issues with certain groups. Well, as you know, people tore into her. I mean, what do you expect to happen? You going around and insulting people and kind of speaking kind of mean toward people. And she released this statement. Okay. Y'all can pause it later on to read it, but I'll just read it for you right quick. Let me get rid of that banner. Okay. And let me enlarge it for myself. Here we go. As kingdom citizen and a woman of integrity, I can acknowledge that some of my words, even if said in jest, can be offensive. My intention is not to hurt anyone, but to spread love, laughter, and more importantly, the gift which God has given me in song. If anyone was offended, I can sincerely say I apologize. With that being said, the irony in this is that those who are criticizing my statement are displaying the very thing they have accused me of, however.
Hello.
It's not been humorous or in jest. My image has been used in multiple places in false statements, and narratives have been created. The punitive damages for some are quite lofty. Please be mindful of what is both written and said via video about me, especially if it contains untruths. Slander and defamation are not taken lightly, especially if it affects my name, image, or brand. Those pages wherein vile comments and false narratives have been created, have been noted, reported, and hopefully silenced. Again, I will apologize if anyone thought that my humor was malicious, but I would not under any circumstance tolerate harassment, slander, or for my character to be defamed. Best of all. Let me get rid of that picture.
So can I ask a question? Because I'm reading like some of the comments in the thing, and I'm gonna be honest, never heard of the woman until today. Whoever the person Brian is, or whoever, never heard of him until today. Apparently, this is a regular popular thing, and I'm just curious why y'all still watch her, because that's like support.
Who watched?
Like giving her. I never said you, honey.
No, I'm saying that most people only look to see when she messes up.
But so why sit and keep even pulling her out?
Because Joe, I need something to talk about on this show, don't you think?
And this.
Keena says, but what's the difference between her and Pastor Gino? Oh, that's another piece of work right there. It's the same mess. And you know what? Some people made that reference too with Gino. Some people made that reference right there. Lied. And that wasn't an apology. I don't think it was. I don't know if y'all think it. I don't think it was. Or you know how people say you apologize for getting caught. You know how people say that though. Kitty says she is a liar, a gaslighter, and people excuse her disgusting behavior because she's a singer. And I gotta see this right here. I don't watch her and never heard her music. I only know about this from people posting her mess online. Anything else, Shell? Yeah.
At this point, she is more known for the comments she makes than her true gift, right? Like she wants to be known for her singing, but in the end, she ends up being known more for the things she says than her singing, and that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Wait, I'm gonna get to you, Marcus, because I see how you look, and I have to watch you when you look like that. The reason is to discount her because she is dangerous. Yes, she turns people away from the gospel. Marcus Wilbanks, please.
Like I like everybody else, I never heard of Kimburrell. I never heard of the pastor, Brian, whoever he is. One of the pastors that I've always intrigued myself in listening to is Pastor Joel Osteen. And his snippet of starting something funny is more enlightening and more fruitful than what Kim Burrell is doing, the way I've been listening to this snippet of the video anyway. And for her to even come up with a appropriate or air quote appropriate apology like that is it's not even meaningful to me. It's really not that meaningful to me anyway. I mean, look, if you're gonna talk about some stuff, talk about the gospel. Hey, I mean, you're in the church. I mean, even the general rule in speaking to an audience inside of a sanctuary, even the holy sanctuary, nevertheless, it's never ever under any circumstances speak anything insulting as a joke. That's what I would even come out and say anyway. Hey, I mean, there are probable evangelists that I watch and listen to. tdjakes is one, and Joel Osteen is another. Those are two of the most prominent ones that I can respect and comprehend with. But Kim Burrell in particular, no.
Listen,
Way over the top.
Yeah, so all I'm gonna say is, we got some more comments. Let me read these before I move on. Let's go to Karen. Hey, how you doing, Karen? Pastor Karen. The Bible says, with love and kindness I have drawn thee. We have to be mindful of how we deal and handle the sheep. You never read where Jesus talked to people any kind of way. Anissa, I seen her in concert. Excellent voice. But unfortunately, she's acting in a way that I've witnessed in churches for years. The only difference now is that it's recorded and shared for the world to see. Not just, I know you're not justifying. I like what you had to say. I said that earlier, Kitty. Karn is a mess, so it's not surprising she felt comfortable doing that in his church. Keena says, but real talk, she represents issues in some of our churches. The hurtful things that are said over the pulpit is shocking. And
but it's dwindling down underneath. So,
and Kimberly said, did you play the snippet of her talking about people being mutt? I don't even want to hear that. I really don't. Shell don't look like that. I really don't want to hear.
That's just unnecessary.
So when people watch this, doesn't it add up likes and views for that?
Yes.
So
yeah, because
people know who she is and watch it, and
well, listen,
that's like supporting her.
Let me qualify this, or straighten this out rather. People, I'm not a follower, but believe it or not, she has a ton of followers. If you were to go to her Instagram page, they are actually justifying her behavior. She's justifying her behavior. I mean, they're putting up with, they saying, that's all right, sis. You know, they'll say things, the devil is busy. You all right, sis. Don't let them take away your glory. So I don't know what to say. Either they really that blind to what's going on, or their head so far up her behind, they just say anything to stay in her good graces. So
I'm grateful that I don't know who she was or who the other people she's talking about and all that. You know, I don't.
Let me see. And I like to be fair. BB, could it have been shared out of context? I usually I would say maybe, but there's really no way that's shared out of context. I mean, she talked for 2 minutes. I don't know what kind of context are we looking for though. And maybe that's just me though, but for 2 minutes, yeah. Hey Cassandra, how you doing?
There you go, Cassandra. They like the mess. It's somebody that likes the mess, and somebody mentioned something earlier that this ain't just started. It's just now on the internet. I'm in California. I grew up in California, and people talk like this all growing up when I was in Baptist churches and different kinds of churches. So now that it's on the mic and people get to like it and share it, people have always talked like this in all the churches. I mean, I've been to all kinds of churches.
Not like that. Not like that.
California.
Not like
California.
And I left
we talk mess out here.
Even when I left my church, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
It's not very kind in Cali. Let's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna move on. Show a quickie, right quick. But before we do, don't forget to this, that, and the other thing. Okay, good. One quickie right here. I've been thinking about getting some veneers. Okay. Get some new teeth or what have you, though. And I know I should have known this ahead, but you could get some from Amazon. Okay.
This is about to be some foolishness. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Okay, so take a quick look, okay?
My dad ordered his veneers from eBay.
You can't talk with a man? Smile. Like cheese. Open your mouth. Let me see.
I'm gonna order some, y'all. Okay. Next week I'm gonna be just like that. Here, welcome to Tuesday Talk. What, Marcus? You think I'm playing?
No. I was gonna say something about that video. Not you, man. No.
Go ahead.
Look, all I can say is this: eBay is out. And that right there, that's a big mistake right there. Really big mistake. Never ever order anything out of eBay, because eBay is gonna have some used material that's not gonna be good for your face.
Well, it could Amazon had done some stinkers too. So but one thing it's crazy. That's all I'm gonna wait. Let me look at these comments.
It's crazy.
So can you talk? No, okay. Wait, I gotta read these right quick. Do not get no chiclets. Hey,
there you go, Kim. There you go.
Wait,
those definitely wasn't chiclets. They was bigger than they was. Lord.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, Mike. No. Okay.
What Katie said? No.
Dwan. Look at Tia. Yes.
Oh man.
You want chickens with teeth?
That was more. Hey, Keena, that was more than chicklets, like Shell said.
I gotta get these laughs in here. Theodora, good to have you. Hope you be there after party. Hot mess. Haha, I laugh so hard. Please, I might think about it. Let me see what my insurance will say. It's like ordering a. You know what? Stop. It's like ordering coffee.
Facts.
There you go, Emmy. There you go.
Put them in for pictures. I'll be no good if you did. Well, get ready to be no good then. Cheaper than going to the. Oh my goodness.
You right, Teresa. That's why I'm sitting here thinking. I'm looking on Amazon right now.
Maybe the Amazon ones are better than eBay, because them in his mouth. Oh Lord.
So we're gonna look at this. I'm gonna look into it myself. We're gonna see. If I don't laugh, Shell, I might be up here next week. Don't laugh. I'm gonna be just like this. Welcome to Tuesday Talk. I'm your host, Michael. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna be doing, okay?
You got pretty teeth, Mike. Oh, y'all got pretty teeth. Now, Mike, if you come in with that male beard thing they be having going on, yeah. Come on, you can order that on Amazon too.
You know what? I don't need to order. Don't stop, Shell. I don't need to order. I could grow it out, but I don't like maintaining it.
It's quicker if you order it and just glue it out.
You know, if I show up here with
the good glue.
Yeah, I know I might do that just to
Mark
get
is
a
coming on
laugh.
up in here with a mail 2-pack.
Mark, you want to do it next week? Me and you come here with fake beards. You want to do that? Look at me.
Let me order for you. I'll hook you up right.
I want to make sure. I want to make sure it's the James Harden one.
Oh wait a minute. Wait, your shirt ain't coming to play. Okay. You can't get I'm getting a unit. Watch. I'm gonna be a different looking person next week. Yes, please do. Okay. It's been fun, y'all. It's been fun. Wait, one more comment I saw. Get a ZZ top. No, absolutely, positively not. We're not doing that. Okay, folks. Mm-hmm. It's been a show and it's been a half. Mr. TV announcer, could you do it, please? Go ahead.
Let's go. Coming up next, and around 1:30, we are going to the after party for you, the loyal SBCC viewers, where, as usual, we're going to be in the Zoom meeting, talk about tonight's show and everything else that we probably haven't covered. So come to the Zoom after party at around 1:30. Make sure you watch out for that Zoom link. And of course, each and every Saturday night, we go into the fellowship hall like none other. It's the Saturday Night Social again via Zoom at around 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Zoom chat Saturday night. And of course, tune in next week, folks, for another heartwarming and very, very intriguing, to say the least, another edition of Tuesday Talk, exclusively on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure you follow us, as usual. Facebook on Single Black Christian Connections, and on YouTube, Mike Walker SBC. And of course, always tell your friends to subscribe for the absolutely low price on the community page of $1 George Washington dollar.
Thank you, Marcus. I'm gonna have to double your salary.
I need to tell y'all the veneers for men. You want to guess how much they are for men and women? Take a wild guess.
20.
We can do this. You right. $19.99. You get 2 pair for $29.99.
Folks, I'm gonna end this so I can go on Amazon right quick. Okay.
I'll go on Amazon and see if I can find a fake beard too.
2 things. We're gonna go on Amazon and get these fake beards and teeth. I can't wait till next week. And number 2, if y'all won this last Saturday social, great day in the morning. That's all I'm gonna say. Great day in the morning. It was something else. You know, I'm surprised we weren't rated. So anyway, but thank y'all.
How much y'all beard gonna cost? Look, I see a good, nice, handsome one. $27.65.
Oh, I gotta go.
For your beard.
So Joe said, Marcus, chill. Everybody else, thank you, and thank you, studio audience. Thank you everywhere. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the after party at 1/2 past the hour.
Tell me that don't look real. $27.99.